Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and decode the secret, everyday behaviors that prove exactly how your cat truly feels about you. If you've ever wondered if your feline friend actually loves you, or, if you're just the giant can opener that lives in their house, well, you're absolutely in the right place to find out.
Now get this, here is a truly surprising statistic. Only 2% of cats actually see their owner as their mother. 2%. I mean, that completely challenges everything we usually assume about our pets, right? We tend to naturally think of ourselves as their parents. But from a feline perspective, that kind of deep, maternal-level bond is actually incredibly rare.
So, the big question we're answering today, are you in that exclusive 2%? Throughout this explainer, we're going to look at 15 very specific behaviors that signal deep feline attachment. I want you to keep a running mental tally as we go to see how many of these your cat actually does. Because by the end, you'll know for sure if your cat has officially chosen you.
Let's kick things off with our first section, calculated vulnerability, where biology meets safety. We're going to look at the ultimate vulnerability test. There are 5 specific behaviors you should watch for here: the belly display, the sleeping location, the full body roll, turning their back, and the sleeping paw. In the wild, doing any of these exposes a cat to severe physical danger, but they do them exclusively around you. Why? Because you are literally their safe space. Let's break these down.
First up, the belly display. Now here's a mistake almost everyone makes. Rolling over isn't actually an invitation for pets. When a cat exposes their belly, which, remember, houses all their vital organs without any bone or thick fur to protect them, it's a profound display of letting their guard down the second you walk in. It's not about whether they want you to rub it. The display itself is the proof of ultimate trust. They only do this for someone they deem completely, 100% safe.
There's this beautiful quote that really hits the nail on the head. Trust isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a cat turned away, completely at peace. In the animal world, turning your back means you trust whatever is behind you to keep you safe. So whether they're turning their back to you on the couch or choosing to sleep completely defenseless right beside you, they're silently handing their security entirely over to you.
And then there's the sleeping paw. Have you ever noticed your cat sleeping with just one paw lightly resting on you? In their most unguarded state, deep sleep, that weightless paw is essentially a silent contact check. It's an involuntary reach to confirm you're still there, kind of like a mother with a newborn in the middle of the night. Their body absolutely refuses to lose connection with you, even while they're completely unconscious.
Moving right along, let's look at how this builds into your cat's private language.
Let's talk about allogrooming. In wild feline social groups, grooming is reserved only for family members. Mother cats use it to bond and calm their kittens, basically signaling, hey, I'm responsible for you. So when your cat's rough, sandpaper-like little tongue licks your hand or your hair or your face, it's not just a weird little quirk. It's a quiet, deliberate statement that they consider you family and they feel deeply responsible for your care.
Next is something called the involuntary greeting. Picture this. You walk through the door, their tail goes straight up and quivers, and they immediately weave between your legs and give you a head bump. This tail-up sequence is an involuntary excitement response that originally develops between a kitten and its mother. Adult cats almost never do this with each other. They literally cannot fake it, and they reserve this complete recognition of a trusted caregiver only for their deeply bonded human.
Think about eye contact for a second. In the animal kingdom, a direct, wide-eyed stare is almost always a threat or a challenge. But by holding your gaze, softening it, and intentionally blinking slowly, your cat is doing something pretty remarkable. They're saying they're completely at ease. It's actually an open invitation. Try slow blinking back at them and just watch how they respond when you speak their language back to them.
There's actually a fascinating shift in how cats communicate as they age. With other adult cats, they rely on standard wild communication, stuff like scent and body language. Meowing fades away almost completely. But with you, their bonded human, they unconsciously build a private, customized vocal dictionary over the years. That specific trill for happiness, or that unique meow just for hunger. Those sounds don't exist for anyone else. They are exclusively engineered to connect with you.
Now let's jump into our next section, the invisible emotional tether.
Consider this concept, affiliative proximity. You might think your cat is just ignoring you by sitting, say, 3 feet away, barely out of reach. But actually, it's their most emotionally mature behavior. Just like older kittens going through an independence phase with their mothers, they're choosing to be near you on their own terms. They're maintaining a secure emotional bond without needing constant needy contact just to know the safety is real.
And what about when they sit directly on your belongings? Usually we might assume they're just being annoying or overly territorial, but there's a whole other story going on here. When they plop down right on your laptop or the book you're reading, they aren't just being weird. They're acting exactly like a young child trying to regain the sustained attention you just shifted away from them. Your distraction feels like a small absence to them, and they're physically closing the gap to bring your focus right back to where they want it.
And this tether remains completely intact even when you're moving around. Whether they're burying themselves in your unwashed clothes because your scent biologically self-soothes their mild distress, or following you from room to literally drop their cortisol levels, or zeroing in on you instantly in a crowded room, well, you have become their biological anchor. When people come over, they'll scan the room and walk straight over to you, regardless of treats or who called them, because you are their secure base.
Finally, we arrive at the emotional climax of our explainer, the silent guardian.
Now, you might find this a little strange at first, but it is deeply touching once you understand the science behind it. If you ever wake up in the middle of the night to your cat sitting perfectly still, just staring at you in the dark, they aren't hungry and they aren't restless. They are actively environmentally scanning. They're voluntarily guarding you while you are out your absolute most defenseless. They just want you to be safe.
It all boils down to this profound realization. She does it because at some point you became someone worth protecting. This is the absolute ultimate proof that without any ceremony, prompt, or training, your cat has quietly committed to standing watch over you for the rest of their life. You didn't ask them to do it, they just decided you were theirs. So, moment of truth. What is your final score? If your cat consistently hits these markers, and especially if they hit all 15, you haven't just trained a pet. You've been entirely adopted by a silent guardian who trusts you completely. So do you fall into that rare 2%? Next time your cat turns its back on you or stares at you in the dark, ask yourself, are they just being a cat? Or are they quietly trusting you with their life?